Superstation has the greatest advertising deal ever with our Godfather package. 100 spots for $600 with a must-air within 30-day policy, and we will even produce the spots free. That's right, free. Call Devin C. now at 248-357-4566. That's 248-357-4566. Or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy. For months and months and months, I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials, and, you don't know if something's going to help you or not, but I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days after taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code RADIO5.
Attention! Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499.
The weekend lineup on 910 AM is crazy.
I am your host, Nurse Charms, the nurse of morning radio, here to bring you the most accurate and up-to-date information in health, wellness, nursing, and medicine. Listen, information is power and information is currency, so we do not do misinformation over here. Stay locked in with me, and I promise that you will not be disappointed. From 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., chime in on the discussions that we have on this show so we can hear from you.
910 AM Superstation. WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media. The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media.
The world. Happy Sunday. You are listening to 910 AM Superstation, and this is Nurse Charms Live. I am your host, Nurse Charms, the nurse of morning radio, here to bring you the most accurate and up-to-date information in health, wellness, nursing, and medicine. If you're just tuning in as a new listener, I am here on air every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. So set your alarm clocks and prepare to wake up on Sundays at 6 a.m. Now, I am an experienced registered nurse of 21 years. So as someone who has been in this profession for 21 years, that means it's important for me to keep it real with y'all and get y'all the information that you need so you can make the right choices that will benefit your life. So my hopes with this show are that individuals and communities are becoming healthier and living a more productive life. So as I said, I'm a registered nurse who is actively licensed by the state of Michigan for 21 years. And currently I am employed at a local hospital. I'm also a licensed massage therapist of 10 years and a serial entrepreneur. So that's my background, and I'm sticking with it. And I'm going to always start off this show letting y'all know that I have my street creds, all right? However, this is also the people show. So that means I want to hear all of y'all's opinions on certain topics. I don't want to just sit here and dominate the radio show without letting my callers express their thoughts. So please call into my show, okay? The number here is 313-778-7600. Again, 313-778-7600. And I want all of you to chime in on the discussions that we have so we can hear from you. I will always do my best to try to answer your questions with research and facts. And if you're watching the show on the 910 AM Superstation Facebook page, please drop a heart emoji and share this video, because that lets the Facebook algorithm know that this is good content, and they will continue to show this video to more and more people so we can get this content out there. I also want to mention that we are streaming live on the 910 AM Superstation app. I personally have the 910 AM app on my phone, and I recommend that everyone else also goes and downloads that app in the App Store. We can also be heard on the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn Radio app. And lastly, you can always visit the 910 AM website and watch us live in studio. So there are plenty of ways to listen to the show without any excuses. That means I want y'all here every Sunday on 910 AM Superstation, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., listening to my show. So this morning, Dr. Grace is joining me. So if you're watching on the 910 AM Facebook page, our website, or the app, you can see Dr. Grace in the studio with me. Dr. Grace, wave to the cameras. And I always appreciate her being here with me. But really quick, before I officially welcome Dr. Grace, I want to give a disclaimer that neither myself nor any of my guests are being endorsed. Therefore, I want everyone to know that we are sharing our own knowledge and experience with hopes it will be educational and add value to everyone listening. But please remember to always consult your personal physician, okay? This show is for educational purposes only and not diagnosing purposes. Well, good morning, Dr. Grace. How are you?
Oh, thank you. That was a mouthful. You do that so eloquently and so effortlessly.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, I always have you begin by giving the listeners your street creds. Everybody knows you're Dr. Grace. So I think the most important thing, let them know where they can find you.
Okay. Thank you. I am Dr. Grace Patterson, affectionately known as Dr. Grace. I am local here in the Metro Detroit area. My office is located in Southfield, Michigan. I've been a doctor for over 25 plus years. And my telephone number is 248-356-1111. That's 248-356-1111. Or you can go to my website, which is www.drgracecares.com. I do family medicine, so the old adage for family medicine, we could treat people from the womb to the tomb. So from babies on up, but primarily my niche is home care with seniors, sick, disabled, and shut in. I do holistic practices and modalities throughout my entire practice. I do natural pain management for my patients who come in on opiates. We pride ourselves on weaning them off of them and teaching them how to manage their everyday pain without just taking a pill, right? And we do telehealth, and we do IV infusion vitamin therapy, hormone replacement therapy, and also all natural weight wellness programs too as well. So we do a lot. I also am a ordained licensed minister. I am a pastor-elect at my church. And I do believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the precious Holy Spirit. I love God. And my work is my call and my ministry. So that's what I do.
Yes, see y'all, she got her street creds, okay? So when y'all listen to this show, y'all know that y'all have a doctor. 25 years, right? You said
yes.
25 years. All right. So listen, this morning, in our first hour, we are having a discussion about obesity. And I'm drawn to talk about obesity because it's a serious medical disorder. So let me just begin by saying that obesity is defined by the CDC as an adult who has a body mass index, BMI, y'all heard BMI, a body mass index of 30 or greater. Now, a BMI of 18.5 to 24.9 will be considered normal, and a BMI of 25 to 29.9 would be considered overweight. But again, obesity is a BMI of 30 and above. So when we look at the data for Michigan, 34.4% of the population are obese, with Detroit and Grand Rapids being the top cities. So it's time to have a wake-up moment, and not because these statistics are a surprise, but because obesity can lead to serious health consequences such as heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, which all of these diseases ultimately can cause premature death. And although we have made some advancements with pharmaceuticals and surgical treatments, we haven't made significant advances in lowering the obesity rates. But the good news is that obesity can be prevented. And we need to talk about this because obesity experts are saying that doctors need to do a better job of informing their patients about their BMI and educating them on how to lose weight. It's like if you have high blood pressure and you go to the doctor, you get treatment, you get put on medications, etc. But are you really getting treatment if you're obese, or does it depend on you being able to have out-of-pocket money to cover programs or procedure costs at weight loss centers, etc.? So we're going to just get into this discussion, and Dr. Grace is going to share some insight. So sound good?
Yeah, that is amazing. I like it.
And so the first question, what are some of the biggest mistakes that people make that can put them at risk for obesity? I mean, you can just really get into that because I would say, like, you know, nutrition and stuff, people don't really understand what the calories and stuff that they're eating is made up of. But you go ahead. I want you to discuss
Well, we got to
this.
understand our culture, especially in America. Everything is revolving around food. We're
Right.
happy. We celebrate with food. Holidays are surrounded by food. If someone passes, or, you know, a homegoing service, there's a repast, there's
Right.
food. People happy, their food, they're sad, their food, everything is revolving around food. And if you read and social media and all this information out there about this type of food, even if you eat organic, is it truly organic? You know, all this information is bombarding us. But just start with the basics. Eat when you're hungry. But then some people are like, I'm hungry all the time.
Right.
But because your body is craving something. And so I just like to start with the basics with my patients. There's a lot of emotional eaters out there, just like I
That's
just
true.
described. You know, people are happy, they eat. And then it's just opposite of that as well. Some people say, I can't eat when I'm upset. But there's some people who do. It's called comfort eating, that comfort
Yes.
food that makes you feel good. You know, there's actually hormones that are released that makes you feel good when you eat certain things that are not good for you, right?
Right.
Endorphins are released with the happy food. You know, that's why people love chocolate so much.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, but anyway, the basics is understanding that we are a triune being, spirit, soul, and body. And then a lot of people have suffered from trauma. So trauma of carrying things that they should not be carrying can manifest in a body as being overweight. But as we being doctors and being nurses,
Right.
you know, what do you have in your cabinet? You know, what is in there? Is it Frosted Flakes? I saw this post on social media. It said the best combination, Frosted Flakes and bananas. And I responded to that post. Yeah, I had a patient who was a diabetic, and when the nurse would go to his house, his sugar would be 500.
Wow.
And I would ask him if he had Frosted Flakes and bananas, because he
Right.
would always get it the first of the month, because that's when he got his money.
Yeah.
And the answer would be yes. So even though it may be the best combination, you know, there's consequences to the choices that the food that we make. I don't like using the word diet because it means deprivation. What are your food choices? And we have been programmed through television, media on what to eat and what not to eat. But it's trending now plant-based. But what is that? We're going to get into that in a moment. But just the basics, you know, are we supposed to eat 3 times a day? That little triangle, all of that
Right.
was created decades ago, what we call the Food Drug Administration made what they call the daily recommended allowance. All of that is so outdated now.
Right.
And we need to be trending now what is realistic and what is a life expectancy. So one of my studies that I've done personally was how in biblical times people used to live hundreds and hundreds of years, and then now life expectancy on the average is like 75 years old.
Yes.
And one of the stats that I really like that you pointed out, the obesity rate in the United States is 34%.
In Michigan.
In Michigan,
yes.
yeah, in Michigan.
In the United States, it's higher.
It's higher. It's
Yes.
1 out of 4. And in the African American community, 4 out of 5 women are considered obese. Now, I wish they would change the BMI scale because those studies were done on the Caucasian community. I think each nationality or ethnic group should have their own BMI.
I agree. And then also the BMI doesn't take into consideration people who are muscular.
Right.
So it's like you could have a BMI of 30 just because you lift weights a lot. You exercise a lot, if you're athletic. So I really do think, and you made a great point about a lot of this information being outdated, and you're right. I mean, maybe we got it wrong because all these different diets and stuff, like I feel like people lose weight individually, all different kinds of ways. There is no one way to lose weight. If it was, we'd all be doing it right. I mean, some people can lose, some people don't even gain weight. How about that?
Right.
But it's a combination. I don't think it's just like a one thing, like diet, exercise. I mean, it's just so many different things, and we're going to get into that also.
I really do believe it's individualized.
Yes.
That's one of the things at our practice. It's not a one size fit all. We customize our treatments from high blood pressure to weight reduction. All of that is a combination. Everyone is not the same. So you have to treat each person individually. It's a genetic component. First of all, let's start in the beginning. It's a spiritual component. What is going on in the spirit with them as their emotions, their thinking, their thoughts. There's a genetic component. What is your family history, which is also considered spiritual. And what is your lifestyle like? I mean, are you a person who goes to the grocery store, and when you go to the grocery store, what do you buy?
Right.
What's in your cabinets? I mean, it's a lot of things that we buy on a day-to-day. Drinking pop, people that smoke, people who drink, all of those play a role in the obesity disease. And we're going to talk about that in a minute in more detail on how people need to realize that obesity is a disease like high blood pressure, like sugar diabetes, but it increases the risk when you're overweight for cancer and for other things as well. And so how do we combat that? By doing shows like yours.
Yes.
Right, to give the information that people need. Now, I say this, if you're listening to the show and don't do anything with the information you get, you're wasting your time.
Yes. And we're going to get back into the discussion about obesity. You are listening to Nurse Charms Live with Dr. Grace joining me. This is 910 AM Superstation. We'll be right back.
The Word Network has been broadcasting inspirational messages around the world since the year 2000, and we keep getting bigger and better and more innovative. Seen all around the world, we bring you the best teaching, impartation, singing, and inspiration. If you want original programming, we have that too. The Word Network is your exclusive source for all things inspiration, and we can be found on every device imaginable. If you want to be uplifted and inspired, you need the Word Network.
Did you know most vitamin supplements don't even come from food? Even the products with colorful fruits and vegetables adorning the labels are seldom derived from produce. Typically, supplements are synthetic, made in a laboratory. Modern science may synthetically imitate these chemicals, but your body isn't fooled. It knows the difference, and it craves quality materials to build, repair, and fight illness. You need to consume fruits and vegetables daily in a variety of colors, as well as whole grains and other fresh food. That's why I formulated Balance of Nature. I wanted to be able to give my patients a natural alternative to the cheap, unnatural chemistry by giving them real fruits and vegetables. In fact, the only ingredients inside a Balance of Nature are whole fruits and vegetables. Don't settle for imitation nutrition. Reach for the good stuff, the real stuff.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code RADIO5.
My38 is offering a great special that cannot be refused. Are you looking for a great deal on TV advertising? Are you searching for an avenue to get your business name out to the public? With My38, we are offering a great special with 100 commercial ads for a great price. This offer is for a 30-day ad placement. Please contact Devin C. for more information at 248-357-4566 or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads.
So Gorgeous is the latest brand to hit the hair extension and wig market. Made from 100% human hair donors with textures to perfectly blend into your hair, giving you full, natural-looking styles with added volume and length. You can wash, color, curl, and straighten our gorgeous bundles and wigs. Shop our collection now at sosogorgeous.com and get ready to show off your gorgeous hair.
The all-new 910 Superstation is your #1 source for urban talk radio. If you're looking for the best in radio programming, look no further. You can now listen in on a multitude of audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, and coming soon to Amazon Music, Good Pods, and Overcast. 910 AM Superstation, the largest, strongest, 50,000-watt urban radio station in town.
This is 910 AM Superstation. I have Dr. Grace in studio with me. Oh, I see our phone lines are already blowing up. Thank you, callers. You know, I love it when y'all call this show. Dr. Grace, did you have, were you in the middle of a thought before we went to break?
I just wanted to say about that it's actually a disease.
Right.
And people, I don't like when people, or should I say providers, fat shame people.
Right.
Or make them feel bad, like they just don't have self-control, or other people do that to other people. They just don't have self-control. There is an actual biochemistry process that takes place. And so you could take a caller and I'll get back to that, finish that thought after the first caller.
All right. Let's see. We have Leona on the line. Good morning, Leona. How are you?
Good morning to both of you, and enjoy your show. I have a question for the doctor, talking about the frosted flakes and the banana. Now, if you would cut out the frosted flakes, eat regular corn flakes and a half banana, and weigh your cereal, and maybe have the next time have oatmeal and half banana. Would those two be correct to eat? It would be too much sugar in the body.
That's an excellent question. I do believe that sugar content, like the Frosted Flakes or sugar, and also the dairy, all of those together can be cause people that have diabetes to have their sugars to go up. And so I think oatmeal is a better choice versus the Frosted Flakes or the corn flakes and all of that. And then sometimes people do corn flakes and they still get the tablespoon of sugar and put on there too. Just try to avoid table sugar as much as possible. But everyone is individualized. So if a person is a diabetic, I highly recommend that they avoid the corn flakes altogether and just stick to the oatmeal daily.
I think the key takeaway is added sugar. You want to make sure you're not putting any added sugar, any added salt, because a lot of foods already have a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of cholesterol. So you just want to think on those terms. Don't add any extra butter. Don't add any extra salt, sugar. And those things will help you to manage your calories a little bit closer.
And also, I have another question. If you have to take a stress test, and the stress test is okay, and they want you to do an echogram, Now, what is the difference, and what would be the reason for both of those tests? Are they looking for, the doctor looking for clogged arteries or what? Or maybe when you just get a certain age and you haven't had those tests, maybe they want you to take the test.
Those are great questions. Usually, do you have you been diagnosed with heart disease?
No, in 2013, I had the stress test, but I didn't do the treadmill. I did where they put the dye into my heart and speeded up my heart, so that was fine, but I was having trouble with pains in the left arm, and I thought that's what it was, but it was bursitis. And so when I did that test, everything was fine. Well, that was 2013. And now my doctor wants me to go get a echogram, and I asked, what is that? And they said, take a picture of your heart.
Right.
So I'm going to ask them, what are you looking for?
They want to look at your blood vessels. They want to look at your blood vessels. They want to look at your, just like you said, your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Check for, like you said, clogged arteries. They want to see if there's any blockage.
Uh-huh. And I'm 81 years old, so I'm going to take the echogram in April. I was supposed to do it in December, but the weather was just too bad to come out. So I enjoy the program, and when I do hear it, I have so many different questions.
Oh, yeah. Bring all your questions to
so
us.
Sweet.
Yes, we definitely will answer your questions as best as we can. And I totally recommend you go get that to the echo as scheduled. Make sure you get that.
Oh.
And I also want to let you know that there are some places, or there are ways that you can have those tests done in your home, being that you're elderly and being that the inclement weather doesn't allow you to get out. Just call our office and see if we can give you the resources that you need. We can do echoes in the home. It's like an ultrasound. You know how they look at like a baby in the tummy? That's how they look at your heart. And they also want to look at what they call the ejection fraction. They want to see how much blood is actually being pumped out of the heart. So that's what one of the other things that the echo does. But it can actually be done in your home. So call that number that I gave out earlier, 248-356-1111. That's 248-356-1111. And if there's inclement weather when it's time for your appointment and you can't get out, we can help you get someone to come to your house and get the test done in your home.
Well, it looks like to me that my doctor is at Ford Hospital. Why wouldn't they have told me that? I've been going.
Everyone doesn't know that that's available, so I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but we have been doing it for years now. So my mom goes to Henry Ford too, and they said the same thing when I had hers done in her home. They was like, we didn't know that was available, and that was the doctor that was helping her. So they're coming to me now to help the seniors that can't get out. So we can help you with that. People can't provide services that they don't know about. So a lot of people don't know about that.
You're correct, and I got your number in my brain, so 1-248-365-1111. I remember it.
All right now.
Fiona, we appreciate your calls.
All right, have a good day. Love both of you.
Thank you too. All right, let's get to Fidel. Good morning, Fidel. How are you?
Hey, good morning, ladies. How y'all feel?
Hey, pretty good, pretty good. I'm happy that all of this ice and snow melted.
Right. Hey, this is another subject that we've been played on, and for me, it just wondered why my people would take so long for us to realize what's going on in live time. But in saying that, ladies, we've been duped on all levels: medical, politics, all the way down to our name. So, I mean, it's hard when you feed your kids this, or you grow up off of this, and then you find out 25 years later that it's wrong, to stop it automatically. And like the doctor said, now you got to control your mind even more. From the day you wake up, you get hit with sugar, salt, alcohol, drugs, et cetera, et cetera. If you stay in somewhat what they call in the hood, What is your options? Fast food, party stores.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do find you a healthy spot to go to, it's going to at least cost you $25 per person. Now, if you got a house of 4, that's going to cost you $100. Where do you go to shop at? Now, let's talk about shopping. Most fruit marketplaces now, guess what they say? Seedless. So if it don't have no seeds, what am I eating? Am I eating something made up? Am I eating something that has the nutrient balance and still in there? So again, y'all, we got to start catching this stuff in real live time. Most fast food, that's not even real food. That's not even real. Who approved this?
Right.
We stay in the most so-called intelligent country in the world.
Right.
But again, they made us so dumbfounded, but we accepted it over and over again. You know what I mean?
Right.
There has been groups that people rejected for years, and everything that they said is starting to come to life. I was brought up off How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. And see, everything's coming. He talked about 3 meals. Mm-hmm. I learned about that back in the 70s. When I told people, let's try to fast and do 1 meal a day, they looked at me crazy. Mm-hmm. 30 years later, they said, man, I'm going to try to do 1 meal a day or cut back. It does not.
Intermittent fasting, yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's not smart or intelligent to eat red meat, a dead yolk every single day and every meal. Meat, starch, it's just not smart for the human body.
Right.
Period, point blank. Last but not least, I got a question for both of you. Which one do you just think is more addictive? Sugar, salt, drugs, alcohol. And I'm going to sit back and listen. Thank both of you ladies for bringing up these subjects, and I'm going to continue to listen. Peace out, my sister.
All right. Thank you. Wow. What's your answer?
Well, first of all, they all trigger the dopamine effect in the brain. So, again, there's a spiritual component, genetic component for predisposition for addiction. So everyone is different. So when people eat those type of things, like, again, you get the feel good. So the dopamine factor of the brain, he should add social media to that, because social media does it too, and being on computers does it too, gives that feel good. So you can be addicted to that, even sex. He should have had social media and sex to that. So, but it all depends on the person. So everyone is different. To me, there's no ranking.
I'm gonna guess salt, because there are more people with heart disease in the world than diabetes. We know heart disease is the #1 killer. So I'm just gonna say that more people are eating foods with, added salt or adding extra salt to it. But that's a great question, Fidel. I'm going to actually look that up, maybe on the break. I could, but yeah, that's a great question. But you're listening to Nurse Charms Live. I have Dr. Grace in the studio with me. This is 910 AM Superstation. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Callers, I see you on hold. Please continue to hold. We'll be right back on the other side of the break.
Make sure your plumbing problems are taken care of the right way. For over 20 years, Right Way Plumbing's knowledgeable staff has served Metro Detroit. Schedule your appointment and receive a free in-home visual plumbing inspection with any paid service. Discounts available for seniors and veterans. And remember, there's only one way to do a job, and that's the right way. Call now, 877-RIGHT-89. That's 877-744-4889.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who have agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy. For months and months and months, I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials, and, you don't know if something's going to help you or not, but I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days after taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code RADIO5.
So Gorgeous is the latest brand to hit the hair extension and wig market. Made from 100% human hair donors with textures to perfectly blend into your hair, giving you full, natural-looking styles with added volume and length. You can wash, color, curl, and straighten our gorgeous bundles and wigs. Shop our collection now at SoSoGorgeous.com and get ready to show off your gorgeous hair.
The 910 AM live stream can now be seen on Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, YouTube Red, iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet, Amazon Kindle Fire, any Windows phone, or watch us live at 910amsuperstation.com.
910, the Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
You are listening to 910 AM Superstation. I have Dr. Grace in studio with me. We are going to hop right back into these callers. We are having a discussion about obesity. So, Sheila. Good morning, Sheila. How are you?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question. Okay, you talk about obesity, but what about someone that's not gaining weight? I'm pre-diabetic. I have high blood pressure, so I can't drink the protein drinks because it's loaded with sodium and sugar. The Glucerna has the artificial sweeteners, which are not good either. So what do you suggest
for
me to gain weight?
Consuming more calories?
Yeah.
Have the doctor have your doctor, because every person based on their weight, there's a recommended amount of calories that you should consume every day. So first, I just want to ask the question: are you consuming the recommended amount of calories for your height, weight, and age?
I'm not really sure because I work and I do a lot of walking.
Would you say that you're eating at least about 1,800? I don't know how much you weigh, but I'm just going to throw 1,800 to 2,000. Would you say that you're eating that many calories? I mean, most foods are going to have, unless you're eating like salads and fruits and vegetables all day, most foods are going to at least have about 150 calories at least. Yes.
Okay.
I have a question for you. You said you have high blood pressure, and what else did you say?
And they said I'm pre-diabetic.
But you said you're not overweight. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so she sounds like to me the skinny fat. And people are going to be like, what is that, Dr. Grace? There's a such thing called skinny fat. And that means even though you're not overweight, you have bad kind of fat in your body, which is called visceral fat. You know, when you clean the chicken and that it's that hard yellow fat? Yeah, that's what's on the inside of people that have small body habitus, but they still have the high blood pressure and they still have the diabetes. So what you need to do is get rid of the bad fat that is in your organs right now. And so how do you do that? You change the choices of food that you eat, of course. You trying to gain weight, but really if you gain the weight, will it further increase your blood pressure, increase your diabetes? Because there's been scientifically proven as weight goes up, blood pressure goes up. As weight goes up, the increase of diabetes goes up. So what your doctor needs to do is sit down with you and discuss how to get you healthy by your food choices. So we're just having a small snippet right now talking to you on the radio show, but you need to reach out to your doctor and say, hey, I don't know what to eat. I don't know what to do. Please hook me up with a nutritionist. That's what you need to do. Go back to your doctor and say, I need to sit down with someone. And also, you need to write this down. I heard this term, skinny fat. What is that? You know, talk to that with your nutritionist. And so you need to come up with better food choices, better sleeping, because most people that have your condition is not sleeping well. Am I hitting the nail on the head?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so you're not sleeping well. So if you're not getting all stages of sleep, you're not getting the fat burning that you need. So be sure to connect with your primary care doctor and ask to sit down with a nutritionist.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for calling, Sheila. Have a great Sunday. Let's see. Let's get to our next caller. We have Glenn. Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Hi, Glenn.
I'm doing fine. I was listening to the show, and everybody is right on target. I like what Fidel said. Some of the food that you go to Randall, try to get a decent watermelon that's seedless. And I'm from the South, Mississippi, and all of our parents had gardens. And I go down south in 2019 before COVID. And my friends laugh at me because they said, you're the only one got a garden in Detroit. I said, yeah, but you guys got 3 times as much property I got, and none of you guys got a garden. Wow. They said, man, we don't do that no more. I said, you guys are crazy because every parent, your parents, my parents, all of us had gardens. The only thing we went to a store like A&P for was something that we couldn't grow. But, I go to the grocery store like Kroger's, and I see young people, our people, a little overweight, and they jump on that little buggy thing to ride around in. And they do. And then you look at what they put in that thing, man, you say to yourself, good God, you see why. But this food, what we're eating today, it's not the food we ate as a child because, you can cut up an onion back in the day. People would think you lost your loved one because you'd be crying like crazy.
Right.
Your eyes would be so watery. You cut up one a day, your eyes don't even get red. Something's not right.
Perhaps.
I agree. Well, you got to remember, like you said, we live in a capitalistic society. We're supposed to farm 7 years and let the land rest so that you can get the nutrients replenished in the earth and rotate your crops. That's what organic farms do. But we don't do that. So are we really getting the nutrients that we need? And they also genetically modify things so they can have a longer shelf life. And I agree with you. We need to get back to the basics. We need to start growing our own foods. And because inner cities have been deemed food deserts, that means that's all you can get is fast food and, the worst of the foods. Because sometimes you can go into the market, and as soon as you hit the market's door, it smells. And I'm like, okay, don't nobody smell that? Right. So what is going on with the meat and all of that? But anyway, make a long story short, I totally agree with you. We need to get back to the basics and start growing our own food. And there are food gardens in our city, and we need to support them. I'm part of a nonprofit where a lady, she's in her 70s. Pre-COVID, she was really out there having her food gardens out there. And some of the stuff would go bad, and she's in a neighborhood because people wouldn't even come and get the stuff. So it's all about a mindset. It's all about education, and that's why I really like coming here on the show with Nurse Charms, because we get information out there. For all of you that are out there that are listening and people that are doing the replay, please share, because that's the only way we're going to make a change, is getting the knowledge by itself is not power. Applied knowledge is power, and that's what we want people to do.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. And
Thank you.
one thing, I was tested at pre-diabetes. I was listening to the lady prior.
Uh-huh.
And I have a brother who passed away. He was a physician. And I called him. I said, look, my A1C is 6.7. And I said, no, and I was worried. And he said, look, nobody in our family ever been diabetic. He said, I faxed him my paperwork. He looked at it. 5 minutes later, he called me and said, your problem is you got low iron. Low iron gives off a false high A1C. And he told me to go to a store and get some of these green pills. It's not with an F. Forsol, something like that, cost a couple bucks. And I was taking one, and he told me to come back in 30 days. And I went back, and my A1C went down to 6.0, and now I just got it last week. It's 5.7.
Great, good for you.
Told me that low iron can cause a false high, and high iron can cause low. But he definitely hit it on those then for me, and that's my case. I'm not no physician or anything. I'm just saying that happened to me.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for calling Nurse Charms Live, Glenn. You have a great Sunday, okay?
You too. Thank you.
All right. Let's get to Norman. Good morning, Norman. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, health and always reporting on health is always on my mind. And see, and this is, Dr. Grace, is it Dr. Grace, correct?
Yes.
Pointing out something very important about that addictive amnesia limbic system, the dopamine release and that sort of stuff.
Right.
That's an addiction, and there's a big difference between addiction and dependency. Well, I like what you were saying that there are a lot of products that you can become addicted to. Chocolate cake, certain medications, certain narcotic, even non-controlled medications and stuff. So I liked when you were talking to young man about that. But, what you overall pointed out to me in what our area of research is the importance of why we need these type of healthcare providers in our neighborhood. When you start eliminating your local physician and make it difficult for and there's all kind of reasons, your oral health and your medical health, and your neighborhoods are deteriorating because you have insurances now, third parties that want to pay what they want to pay, and then hassle the doctor and the provider as to what. Here's some music playing.
Norm, I'm sorry, we have to take a commercial break. Thank you for your commentary there. If you want to call back, feel free to do so. This is Nurse Charms Live. You are listening to 910 AM Superstation. We are having a conversation about obesity. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Attention! Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499.
The Word Network has been broadcasting inspirational messages around the world since the year 2000, and we keep getting bigger and better and more innovative. Seen all around the world, we bring you the best teaching, impartation, singing, and inspiration. If you want original programming, we have that too. The Word Network is your exclusive source for all things inspiration, and we can be found on every device imaginable. If you want to be uplifted and inspired, you need the Word Network.
910 AM Superstation has the greatest advertising deal ever with our Godfather package. 100 spots for $600 with a must-air within 30-day policy, and we will even produce the spots free. That's right, free. Call Devin C. now at 248-357-4566. That's 248-357-4566. Or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads.
So Gorgeous is the latest brand to hit the hair extension and wig market. Made from 100% human hair donors with textures to perfectly blend into your hair, giving you full, natural-looking styles with added volume and length. You can wash, color, curl, and straighten our gorgeous bundles and wigs. Shop our collection now at sosogorgeous.com and get ready to show off your gorgeous hair.
The all-new 910 Superstation is your #1 source for urban talk radio. If you're looking for the best in radio programming, look no further. You can now listen in on a multitude of audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, and coming soon to Amazon Music, Good Pods, and Overcast. 910 AM Superstation, the largest, strongest, 50,000-watt urban radio station in town.
We are back. You are listening to Nurse Charms Live. This is 910 AM Superstation. I have Dr. Grace in studio with me. Real quick, I want to let you all know that 910 AM Superstation, we are everywhere. We are in your car with you. Connect with us on Apple TV, our podcast, on our 910 AM website, the 910 AM app, which is a free download. We are accessible on Android and iOS operating systems. You can hear us on Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, TuneIn Radio, and Roku. 910 AM Superstation is literally everywhere. So please share. If you're listening on Facebook, share. If you're tell all your family and friends, 910 AM Superstation, you can hear us everywhere. So let's see. We still have callers on hold. Let's just hop right back into our callers. PG. Good morning, PG. How are you?
Well, good morning and happy TGI Sunday in Women's Month to you two medical Shiro warriors.
Thank you.
Definitely bringing us news that we can definitely use when it comes to our health. And I'm missing Nurse Nikki there because the three of you just bounce off of each other so well. When we talk about obesity, are we talking about, and I think Dr. G may have touched on it, and you too as well, Nurse Charms, about the mental aspect that goes along with it. Like, it's not what we're eating necessarily, it's what's eating us. And a lot of people, because they harbor emotions like acrimony, sadonicism, emulousness, those things have a way of, I think, harboring inside of your body, and then you eat as a way of protecting those emotions. You eat, a lot of food as a way of just protecting yourself from that hurt. And then I think the other part to that is, with all of that emotional stuff going on, added to the emotional trauma that you may have gone through as a little girl, and I'm going to say girl because I'm woman, as a little girl, it's a combination of lacking the ability to dig down into your core, pull out that inner little girl and nurture her, but it's also to let go of those negative emotions. Now, can you speak to how when you see a woman and her legs are in shape, her arms are in shape, her shoulders are in shape, but she got a pot belly, or a man has a little pot belly, is that the stress hormone called cortisol? And how do you deal with that part of it?
Cortisol can cause obesity. And then also, when they decided to make obesity a medical diagnosis, of course, obesity has some mental health components, but it changed. It's not just behavior. It's not about behavior. It's about genetics. Obesity is so many different factors containing why people are obese. So I think we have to look at it from that and not just from emotional and mental health. What would you say, Dr. Grace?
Well, if you look at all the weight loss shows out there, they always bring on a psychologist. It's not one time that they don't deal with the emotional side of people being overweight. And every time they have that psychologist on there, they always find something that happened in their past, like she said, childhood. I totally agree with that. And stress. There is a biochemical component to obesity, and one of them is cortisol. We were not made to be under stress all the time. Stress, the cortisol, the catecholamines, which is cortisol, the norepinephrine and epinephrine are for fight or flight. We're about to kick somebody's butt or run. That's what it's for. And after that incident is over, those catecholamines need to come down. But during the culture that we live in now, high stress jobs, dealing with relationships, dealing with COVID, dealing with a pandemic, dealing with a crashing medical industry systems, all of that, life, family, when does those stress hormones go down? Cortisol does cause belly fat because cortisol, what it does, you build fat to protect your body. So how do you address that? Stress management, teaching, being the person who I am, you're supposed to hear, pray, cast. You're not supposed to carry that stuff, but we find ourselves carrying that stuff in the spirit, and then it manifests it in the body. So there is, like you said, there is a component to it, but is multifactorial, and we need to address all those entities, and that's what we do at my practice at Bethesda Holistic Center. We treat the whole man, spirit, soul, and body, because you can give people medicine and give them ideals on how to eat and all of that, but if their mind is not right, if their mind is not rejuvenated, if they don't have the mindset to do it, you're just talking. And that's how I am with my patients, even when it comes to stop smoking, stop drinking, changing their eating behaviors. I ask them, are you ready? And if they tell me no, I'm like, well, why should I spend my time in this area with you if you're not ready? When you're ready, then we'll talk about it. And when they're ready, then I get the results that I need. But it happens in the mind first. Forgiveness is number one. There's a lot of people that's harboring a whole bunch of unforgiveness. There's a Harvard study. Harvard and Yale and Stanford has done studies about people that harbor unforgiveness. It promotes disease, high blood pressure being one of them. There is a biochemical process, again, along with cortisol. There is bad bacteria in people's gut. Your gut and your brain are made from the same cells when you're developing in your mother's womb. It's a dermatome that divides to go to make the brain and the gut, and they talk to each other. And so what happens is when that bad bacteria overgrows in the gut, it sends signals to the brain, I need sugar. I need all the unhealthy things so I can grow. And then a lot of people think that are obese, I don't have the self-control. I have these cravings. I can't maintain discipline, but it's an actual biochemical process that is happening. That's why detox is very important in weight wellness. You need to get rid of that bad bacteria and replenish it with the good bacteria, which is a nice way of saying probiotics, so that you can minimize those cravings so people can make the food choices that they need to have weight wellness. And so that's the biochemical and the biology side of it. it is an actual disease that affects the brain and affect the body. So Miss PG hit the nail on the head with that. And thank you for calling. I appreciate your input.
Thank you. And Dr. G, I know we're coming up on a break. Can you talk about the importance of having a stabilized BMI and what BMI is and what percentage of that you should have versus how much you weigh? This is a great discussion. I love you both.
All right. Thank you. Love you back, PG. Yes, we actually talked about BMI at the beginning of the show. We talked about the what's normal and what's considered overweight. So I'm going to refer you back to the beginning of the show. Catch our replay because we got some callers that we have to get to. And then, like you said, we're coming up on a break. But I thank you. If you have any more questions, please call back, okay? Thank you, PG. All right, let's get to Rosa. Good morning, Rosa. How are you? Oh, sorry. Rosa, can you hang on with us? I'm so sorry. We have to take a quick commercial break. You are listening to 910 AM Superstation. This is Nurse Charms Live with Dr. Grace in the studio with me. We'll be right back.
Did you know most vitamin supplements don't even come from food? Even the products with colorful fruits and vegetables adorning the labels are seldom derived from produce. Typically, supplements are synthetic, made in a laboratory. Modern science may synthetically imitate these chemicals, but your body isn't fooled. It knows the difference and it craves quality materials to build, repair, and fight illness. You need to consume fruits and vegetables daily in a variety of colors, as well as whole grains and other fresh food. That's why I formulated Balance of Nature. I wanted to be able to give my patients a natural alternative to the cheap, unnatural chemistry by giving them real fruits and vegetables. In fact, the only ingredients inside of Balance of Nature are whole fruits and vegetables. Don't settle for imitation nutrition. Reach for the good stuff, the real stuff.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code RADIO5.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who've agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy. For months and months and months, I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials. And, you know, you don't know if something's going to help you or not, but I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days after taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code RADIO5.
WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit, 910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media. The weekend lineup on 910 AM, it's crazy.
I am your host, Nurse Charms, the nurse of morning radio, here to bring you the most accurate and up-to-date information in health, wellness, nursing, and medicine. Listen, information is power and information is currency, so we do not do misinformation over here. Stay locked in with me, and I promise that you will not be disappointed. From 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., chime in on the discussions that we have on this show so we can hear from you.
910 AM Superstation. The The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media.
Hour of the Nurse Charms live show. I am here in studio with Dr. Grace and Rosa. Thank you for patiently holding with us throughout the break. So I'm just going to get right back into these call lines. And Rosa, good morning. How are you?
All right. Hi. Thank you. I'm probably a little nervous, but I had a problem with stomach flu. And because my weight was down, tremendously, and I got a colonoscopy February, and I still had a lingering problem after the cold. I had, diarrhea. I hate to say that, but I still have a problem with diarrhea, and sometimes it'd be the food. If I eat something like beef or pork, I'm gonna have a little problem maybe that night. And I was wondering. Is that, and I'm 79 years old, is that due to, and they found out I didn't have cancer. That was the main thing. And I'm just wondering, I'm going to see my doctor tomorrow. So I'm going to tell them, is there anything they can do about it?
About your food intolerances that's causing
diarrhea and... yeah, and I'm thinking it's my medicine.
Right.
Medicine.
Are you noticing a pattern? Are you noticing a pattern in between, like you said, foods you're eating? Like what precipitates? I think you need to look at some of those things. Like when does it occur? Is it after you're always eating something? Because it could be maybe you have some food intolerance. It could be possible side effect of medications that you're having.
Yes. I'm blaming that on the medication, but I had slowed down, and I'm on, blood pressure. And most of the time, I try to eat with that medicine. If you some blood pressure, you got to eat with it because it'll give you side effects. But I can take the blood pressure medicine and eat, and it still give me a problem. Blurred vision. So I'm gonna tell my doctor all that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what I think you should do when you have your doctor tomorrow, before you go to your doctor, I tell my patients, all your questions, you should write them down on a piece of paper. It might be a long list, but put the top 3 on the top. So you be like, doctor, I have 3 questions, or I have a few. Could we just address these questions? Make sure you have your questions ready. I also recommend that you do a medication review because it sounds like you have more than one doctor. And a lot of times as doctors, we don't communicate with each other. So you could be getting some medication from one doctor and another doctor, and they don't really know because it could be some interactions with the medication. I heard you say after you eat certain meats, you have problems. And my question to you, if you're having problems when you eat meat, why eat meat? For right now, just hold off on that until you find out what's going on. You're not going to, if it makes you feel better not doing a certain thing. So for right now, you should just hold off on that. It sounds like you need to rebuild your gut after an infection. And so I don't know if you have a gastroenterologist or a GI doctor or a specialist. I think you need to request that tomorrow too as well. And I really do think that you probably need to give what we call a bowel rest. That means, what we do is like maybe just do things that you can tolerate, clears for a while. And we call that advanced your diet as tolerated, then, do other things later. But it sounds like you can't tolerate meat right now. And if you can't, don't until you find out what the reason why. It could be, again, lack of good probiotics. It could be that you're deficient in the enzymes that you need to break down the meat. Whatever that may be, you need to hold off until you figure it out, okay?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, not as clear. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for calling, Rosa. Those were some great questions. Please continue to listen to the show. You have a great Sunday, okay?
You too. Be
All
blessed.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let's get to Carl. Good morning, Carl. How are you?
Yes. Yes, good morning.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I got you.
Okay,
Thank
all right.
you.
Good.
Very, very good conversation. And this is very smart right here. Your listeners and what we're listening to from you ladies. This is what we need,
Thank you.
This, to change our diet, and when you change your diet, you save money also. All this garbage meat out here. But here's the thing. When our great-grandparents and our ancestors was in the fields, in a plantation, and in slavery, sitting up there, can you imagine eating pork and working in hot fields from sun up to sundown? Ain't that something? But let me get to my point here. When I learned to change my diet, and it was years ago, and my auntie, and she did this for years. She just, one day out of the week, she wouldn't eat. She'd drink water. She said that gives your organs a rest. She wasn't no physician or nothing. She said it just made her body feel good. And she lived to be in her late 80s. Now, here's the thing. When for me, your body, the thing is that helped me out was when she said your body do not want it. Your body don't want liquor, cigarettes. It does nothing for the body. Right. When you can go in a grocery store and look down the aisle, and a whole aisle of food and canned goods and cereal, that is nothing for your body. If you can wrap your mind around that and understand that, just like a party store, just me. There's nothing in a party store for me. Right. They have nothing but chips, liquor, and lottery. What else in there for the human body to consume?
Right.
I'm just saying, gas stations too.
You're right.
So if black folks want to keep some money in their pocket, all that meat, sometimes you can go in the city and some of these grocery stores, I ain't been in the grocery store in the city in years. As soon as you hit the door, you smell the meat. That means somebody ain't cleaning something up back there.
You're right. You're right.
If black folks can wrap their head around it and understand, that is not that your body will assume it, it'll take it, but your job is to preserve what? Your organs, your liver, your kidney. This is how I was explained broke it on down to me.
Our job is to prolong our life, right? I said our job is to prolong our life, right? We want to live long, right?
Yes. Yes. For your family, your kids.
Right.
You want to see your family, your beautiful loved ones. You want to see your people survive in this country. Mm-hmm. And this food, what they have here, you can take some frozen vegetables and try to get the GMO, get none of those. But just if you can take that, throw it in the pot, make some soup, throw some collard greens in there without the starch and all that. Mm-hmm. It's because we're all in a rush all the time.
Right.
You can eat soup and that stuff clears out your system. Mm-hmm. It's very simple. You see what I'm saying? Yes. It's hard to wrap our head around it, but you got to train yourself.
That's true.
Because temptation out here is something else at all the levels. If black people change their diet, oh my God. And it took me a long time, it took my wife a long time, but we understood it. Because you know what? Good. You can look at your stool, you can look at your urine, you make yourself feel better. Thank you, my sister.
Yes, thank you so much. Please continue to listen.
Can I address that?
Yes, absolutely.
I did a study once on party stores and liquor stores. Do you know that's a $7.8 billion industry?
I can believe it.
Okay, so why when people come to me, they say they don't have money for vitamins?
Right.
I just don't.
There's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect. So we're not asking people to spend money that they don't have. Redirect your dollars. Yes. I think it's like $8 or $9 now for a pack of cigarettes. And so, sure. Yeah, I think it is because I have patients that smoke and we do the numbers. So if they're doing $9 a day for a pack of cigarettes, and that is 365 days a week. So that's 52, right? That's $9. It's $9. They're doing a pack a day. So that's $9 times 365, right?
A lot of money wasted.
That's $3,200. That's $3,285. That is a nice cruise.
Right.
So I tell them every time you're actually paying cash money to have high blood pressure, sugar, diabetes, and cancer. They put a black box warning on cigarettes so you can't go back and sue.
Yeah.
But you tell me that you can't buy a $65 worth a bottle of supplements, but you can find $9 a day to smoke a pack a day. It's a mindset that needs to change. And so I'm like, every time you light up, you're burning money.
Right.
I mean, literally burning money. You paying they're paying cash money for any sickness, infirmity, disease that is associated with smoking, even alcohol and drinking. We can go on and on and on. So I agree with him when he says that about the liquor store. There's nothing in there that is healthy for people, but they go in there and they spend all this money, but then when it comes to their health, they go cheap. Right. So any way it goes, you're gonna pay.
Right.
Either you're going to pay on a good side of health things, or you're going to pay to be healthy so you can have longevity. So I mean, it's a mindset that has to change. And again, I'm going to keep on saying it over and over again. I thank you, Nurse Charms, for taking the time out to do the show. And people need to be sharing this and need to be, letting people know, hey, like Spike Lee, wake up!
I appreciate you for being here and dropping all these knowledge gems. So
wow.
It goes hand in hand. Let's get back to our call list because, oh my gosh, we're going to run out of time. Let's see, Kathy. Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning to both of you. How are you both?
Great.
Doing excellent. Now, Kathy, are you the one that's on the Facebook feed? Or this is a different Kathy?
Yes,
Oh, good. I'm
yes,
so
ma'am.
glad you called, girlfriend, because you had some questions. So I'm so happy that you called. Go ahead. What are your comments?
Okay, I have two questions.
Sure.
At one time, your GFR, which is your granular filtration rate for your kidneys, there were two scales, one for African Americans and one for Caucasians. I went to the doctor for my physical, and she told me that has changed. When and why? Do you know?
I'm going to address that. Okay. Every medicine is forever changing. There's a group, there are councils that are over this. I don't know which council this is. It has to be the Nephrology Council, where they get together and they do clinical trials, they look at journals, and they find the mortality and morbidity. That means people that die and have complications from different kidney diseases. And they look at these studies and they come up with these numbers and say, well, back then these numbers were for this population, but now things have changed. People are getting sicker, so we need to change the parameters.
Right.
So most oftentimes that is the reason for the changes. For that, because they want people to stay within a range so they can live longer. That's most oftentimes when they change the parameters.
When they do these autopsies and then they start to notice, they notice trends. They notice trends in Black people. They notice trends in Caucasians. So then they have to go back to the root. Okay, so why are we getting so many cadavers in here, with these elevated levels or whatever the case may be? So, yeah, just like Dr. Grace said, they have to make changes. Medicine is always evolving. So we don't know specifically when it took place, but the fact that it did change and they did make these distinctions, I think is it a good thing. What's your second question, Kathy, please?
And my second question was about cholesterol. How do you... my numbers are all over the place, okay? I go to the doctor once, and my numbers are good. I go to the doctor another time, and my numbers aren't good, or they're within the range. What do you do to stabilize them? Do you have to totally change your diet in order to stabilize your numbers? Because that's what I want.
Normally medications is going to help stabilize that, but we have to take a quick break. Please continue to listen. We're going to make sure we answer that question for you on the other side of the break, okay? Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate your questions. You are listening to Nurse Charms Live. I have Dr. Grace in studio with me, 9:10 a.m. Superstation. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, the insurance companies never want to pay. Hello?
Listen, David, I'm telling you, we won't pay.
No, I'm looking at the case right now, and you will pay.
No, we won't.
I'm absolutely positive
we won't.
that you will pay.
No.
Okay, that's it.
No.
When the insurance companies say they won't pay, I will make them pay you. Get the money you deserve at getdavidgetpaid.com.
WADL gets a facelift and is now My 38 Detroit. Along with a facelift comes new programming. On Mondays at 8 p.m., catch a 2-hour block of Law & Order SVU. Tuesdays, Chicago Fire. Wednesdays, Dateline. More Dateline and Chicago PD on Thursdays and on Fridays. You'll get more Chicago PD to start your weekend. We'll still have some of your favorite shows like Mom, Blackish, and Friends. Just adding more for you to enjoy on My 38.
Attention! Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499.
The Word Network has been broadcasting inspirational messages around the world since the year 2000, and we keep getting bigger and better and more innovative. Seen all around the world, we bring you the best teaching, impartation, singing, and inspiration. If you want original programming, we have that too. The Word Network is your exclusive source for all things inspiration, and we can be found on every device imaginable. If you want to be uplifted and inspired, you need the Word Network.
So Gorgeous is the latest brand to hit the hair extension and wig market. Made from 100% human hair donors with textures to perfectly blend into your hair, giving you full, natural-looking styles with added volume and length. You can wash, color, curl, and straighten our gorgeous bundles and wigs. Shop our collection now at sosogorgeous.com and get ready to show off your gorgeous hair.
You are listening to Nurse Charms Live. I have Dr. Grace in studio with me, and we are having a conversation about obesity. Callers have been off the chain this morning. Y'all been asking some really great questions, and I appreciate it. If you want to call, I don't even think I gave out the number to the show since the beginning, so let me make sure I give out the number to the show. 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. Callers, feel free to call in, chime in on these discussions. Kathy, before the break, you had an excellent question. I know you're on the Facebook feed, so I appreciate all of your support. So we want to make sure we answer your question. You had a question about cholesterol, what is causing those different fluctuations in your cholesterol, and how can you stabilize it? I was saying that usually medications, when someone is diagnosed with high cholesterol, doctors normally put patients on something what they call a statin, and that is used to stabilize your cholesterol. And once you're diagnosed with high cholesterol, unfortunately, you're gonna always have that diagnosis. It won't ever go away. You can't reverse high cholesterol because it's accumulation of these fat deposits in your blood vessels. So, but like you were asking, exercise, definitely, nutrition, what you're eating, those are some things that are going to kind of slow back those fat deposits. And Dr. Grace, you want to chime in really quick?
Yeah, it's called behavior modification. We just don't give medication and tell you, hey, just take this pill. You have to change your lifestyle. We can't want it for you. If you want your numbers to stabilize, you have to stabilize your life. You know what you're doing with you. You know what you're eating from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, and you know what's good for you and what's not good for you. And I'm quite sure, hopefully your doctor had a conversation with you of what to eat and what not to eat. And if not, you need to have that conversation and get with a nutritionist and say, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to change my life. Lifestyle changes, behavior modification is going to stabilize those levels.
Okay, so back to our obesity discussion. Dr. Grace, I have a question. I wanted to know, what policies should the federal and state government pursue to help the cost of healthcare? Because like in the beginning of the show, I was saying that these obesity experts were saying that physicians don't educate their patients properly when it comes to obesity and treatments and stuff like that. And then also we know that there are surgical treatments, but a lot of people can't afford that. It's not covered by insurance, of course, or even there's different weight loss centers. Again, even for the weight loss centers, most insurances don't cover that. You have to pay out of pocket costs for that. So what are some things that the federal and state governments can do to help this whole obesity epidemic? Because let's be clear, this obesity epidemic is something that has been going on for years. It's not nothing new, but we know that it's not getting better. So what can we do?
Well, first of all, it's called a healthcare system. You want to provide healthcare, but I think that's a misnomer. You make money off people being sick. So I hate to say it, but that's the reality of it. I think the healthcare system, as far as the government is concerned, has changed the policies and regulations. I mean, the way it's set up now, I myself is taking a financial hit because I spend more time with my patients. I spend an hour almost every patient because I want to educate my patients. I see only about 10 to 15 people a day, versus most practices, they're seeing 30 to 50 people a day because they see them, there's assembly line. 15 minutes, in and out, in and out, in and out. But I want my patients to be healthy. I want them to have longevity, and I have to give an answer to somebody bigger than myself. Right. So I think they need to change their policies, start there, and their reimbursements. So once you change that, that'll help. But then also on the flip side of that, people have to take responsibility for their own health care. Again, like I said, if you can spend, if the liquor store and the party store on the corner is a $7.8 billion system, who's spending that money there? The people are, my patients are. So they have to take a pride in themselves by loving themselves first enough to say, hey, this money that I buy for a pack of cigarettes or that Pepsi or that Coca-Cola that I get or that six-pack or that case of Coca-Cola that I get, I'm going to take that money and redirect it into something more healthy. Then, I mean, it should, it works both ways. You can't have it, the federal government doing something and then the people don't change their ways and their behaviors. So it has to be a meeting of the minds, and that's what I think that I do and our practice does. We tell people, hey, you are worth it. You are valuable. Love yourself. Make the right choices. I care about you. I'm spending an hour with you to educate you and tell you what you need to do in order to make that change. Now, I don't think the government should be responsible for each individual making better health choices. But as far as the financial piece of it, I think it should be incentives for the patients. If they're doing well, they should cover more.
Right. And I personally feel that the government is responsible for everyone having access to care. Healthcare is a human right. We should all have access. No one should be sitting around, oh, I can't go see my doctor. I have this health concern because I don't have health insurance. So we know that there are different health insurance plans for, people who can't afford to pay. So we just need to make sure that everybody has access. So let's get back into these callers. Let's see. We have Kenny. Good morning, Kenny. How are you?
Good morning. I'm Christopher Ken online.
Okay. Oh, hey, Christopher Ken. Yeah, you've been on our Facebook page. Appreciate all your support. What's your comment this morning?
Well, the first thing is first. Topsoil in the city is poison. They didn't poison our soil, so it's hard to grow vegetables unless you build a vegetable box, because you can't grow. Now, look at the trees. When I was coming up in the 60s, they had big apples, pears, cherry tree. None of that stuff grow no more in the city, And this was in the city because I grew up in Detroit. So that's first thing first. The soil is poison. They done toxic our soil in the city with all this that they putting in there. All this we don't know what they putting in there. They bringing all the garbage and stuff here. We don't know what they doing to our soil. And the next thing is exercise. You can't just change you have to change the way you eat, because it's not a diet. A lot of people use the term diet. it's the way you eat. You have to check because you can't live on a diet. A lot of people take them diets and then when they get off, then they say, "Well, I done gained this, gained that," because it's a way of eating.
It's a lifestyle.
You know, our lifestyle that we eat, and you have to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be out in Farmington Hill, and I see them Indians in the evening time. They take walks. They walk. If you can't do nothing else, you can walk. You know, a lot of people think when you go to work, that's enough exercise. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I was a big guy. I go to the gym, and I worked out. February the 5th, I started back after I had my hip replacement. I started working out. I stopped eating sugar. Mm-hmm. I wasn't eating starch. I wasn't eating no candy, no bread, no fried food, and feeling good. I lost 12 pounds in 2 weeks.
Okay, Ken, I have a question to ask you. What happened in your life to make you say, this is what I'm going to do? What happened? What was it for you that said, this is what I need to do? And when you said you were a big guy, what was the turning point for you? Share with the audience.
Feeling sluggish, going to the doctor. They want you guys make good points. You're excellent on keying in on what people need to do. They throwing pills at you. You need to take this. You need to take that. But here's the side effect. Here's this side effect. I was dressing. My clothes wasn't falling right. I'm a dresser. Yeah. I like to dress. A turning point was I got too big. I got lazy, starting to see myself go down the drain. I said, this I'm too young for this.
Right.
I can't do this. I've seen too many people leave here, and I say it's time for me to get up and take care of me, not waiting on nobody else to do it. You know, it's like you said, it starts with you. It starts within your own self. If you don't, you know, we can call on the show and say we this and we that. But if you don't get off that couch or get out that chair and start doing something for yourself, then it's going to continue to be that way. But I just wanted to call and say we have to exercise and eat right.
Yes.
And thank you all for having this show. We need more shows like this on 910.
Thank you. We appreciate your listenership. Please continue to listen. Let's get to our next call.
Will.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kenny. Let's get to Jerry. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Madam Nurse, and good morning. Hello there, and Madam Dr. Grace, and happy Sunday, and thank you for your beautiful show. Really, we learn a lot of information, so we appreciate your service to the community. And indeed, I call you the heroes of the front line. God bless you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Madam Nurse, Madam Doctor, about obesity, I know some friends of mine, the side of their family, there is a lot of obesity among the female ladies. You know, I love them all. I don't have nothing against them. But when we address this issue, you say, Mr. Jerry, is not my family, they eat a lot. They eat maybe normal, maybe a little extra if they like the food. But you say it's in the gene. Is the gene and the hormone play a big role on this, Madam Nurse, Madam Doctor? And that was first part of my question. The second question, please, there are some people among the community, they are traveling to the country of Turkey, and nothing against Turkey, but they are going over there for this, what they call the stomach function. They are doing surgeries over there. Are you, from a professional medical, are you advise people another idea? Don't you think this is danger for them to travel thousands of miles to do a surgery in a foreign country and you don't know what's the result? I would love an answer. Thank you for taking my call, and God bless you.
Thanks, you. Jerry. Thank you so much, Jerry. Please continue to listen. We will answer your question on the other side of the break. This is Nurse Charms Live. You are listening to 910 AM Superstation. We will be right back.
If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, the insurance companies never want to pay. Hello?
Listen, David, I'm telling you, we won't pay.
No, I'm looking at the case right now, and you will pay.
No, we won't.
I'm absolutely positive
we won't.
that you will pay.
No.
Okay, that's it. No. When the insurance companies say they won't pay, I will make them pay you. Get the money you deserve at GetDavidGetPaid.com.
The all-new 910 Superstation is your number one source for urban talk radio. If you're looking for the best in radio programming, look no further. You can now listen in on a multitude of audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, and coming soon to Amazon Music, Good Pods, and Overcast. 910 AM Superstation, the largest, strongest, 50,000-watt urban radio station in town.
Did you know most vitamin supplements don't even come from food? Even the products with colorful fruits and vegetables adorning the labels are seldom derived from produce. Typically, supplements are synthetic, made in a laboratory. Modern science may synthetically imitate these chemicals, but your body isn't fooled. It knows the difference, and it craves quality materials to build, repair, and fight illness. You need to consume fruits and vegetables daily in a variety of colors, as well as whole grains and other fresh food. That's why I formulated Balance of Nature. I wanted to be able to give my patients a natural alternative to the cheap, unnatural chemistry by giving them real fruits and vegetables. In fact, the only ingredients inside of Balance of Nature are whole fruits and vegetables. Don't settle for imitation nutrition. Reach for the good stuff, the real stuff.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code RADIO5.
910 AM Superstation has the greatest advertising deal ever with our Godfather package. 100 spots for $600 with a must-air within 30-day policy, and we will even produce the spots free. That's right, free. Call Devin C. now at 248-357-4566. That's 248-357-4566. Or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads.
So Gorgeous is the latest brand to hit the hair extension and wig market. Made from 100% human hair donors with textures to perfectly blend into your hair, giving you full, natural-looking styles with added volume and length. You can wash, color, curl, and straighten our gorgeous bundles and wigs. Shop our collection now at SoSoGorgeous.com and get ready to show off your gorgeous hair.
The Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
And we are back. This is 910 AM Superstation. You are listening to Nurse Charms Live. Callers, I appreciate all of you for calling the show today. Oh my gosh, I had some really great questions. Jerry, before the break, he had a question about can obesity be genetic? And yes, absolutely, 100%. That is one of the findings of obesity. There is a genetic component to that. I mean, we've seen that in studies. If you look at rats, you can overfeed them and then they populate, and it's due and those new rats are large and have are overweight rather than obese because of that genetic component. So yeah, obesity definitely has a genetic component to it. And then his second question was about going and having surgeries out of the country. So that's really something personal. I don't want to sit here and be like it's a bad thing. I mean, if your doctor is trained and certified and credentialed to do the procedure, and that's what the decision you want to make, I mean, go for it. But I think the most important, whether you have in surgery in the United States or wherever, you want to make sure somebody who is definitely board certified, trained, has the credentials. That is the biggest thing, because we know that there's a lot of people out here practicing. I don't know how they're even practicing without any type of licensure or experience, but yes, there are people out here doing illegal procedures. So do you want to Want to add anything to that?
Well,
Dr.
that was great. I mean, you want to do your research. I mean, you get what you pay for too. So, and then when you get over there, you know, is the person you don't know who's actually doing the procedure. You know, they have these doctors up front, but then they have all these other people behind the scenes that's actually doing the service. So you really don't know what you're getting. But the way the society or the medical industry has been set up, you know, people you get more money. Should I say it's cheaper to go over to other countries because, you know, our dollar value is worth more in other countries. Like people go to Mexico, you know, that BBL stuff. People are dying though. You know, we can't negate that fact. But do your research and make sure that, like she said, make sure you're getting what you're paying for, and not only the doctor, but the post-op care that you're getting and all of that. And if anything goes awry, you need to ask those questions. What emergency services that you have in place? Are you affiliated with a hospital? You know, that kind of thing. Because some of those places have recoveries in hotels. Right. You know, and stuff like that. So you need to find out before you go, you know, that's your body, that's your choice. Whatever choice that you make, you have to live with it. Right. And so, then if there's any complications when you get back home, what do you do? Right. You know, so you need to make sure that you're making the best choice that's good for you in the long run.
So let's just get back into our discussion of obesity. Let's see, we have Ruth on the line. Good morning, Ruth. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
Awesome.
My comment will probably not fit in with the majority of comments because I believe, and I am a witness for all of the believers, whether you're Christian, Jew, or Muslim, if you follow what God says, if you eat how He say eat, the majority of the problems that the people have, they will not have. And I'm so happy to hear this morning that someone brought in about the liquor stores, that's the main one there.
That's killing us, right.
We say one thing and we do another. We are the majority, I won't say the majority, we are undisciplined people. And to become disciplined is not an easy thing. So I'm going to say from my action that the majority of the problem is coming from what we are doing to ourselves. And as El Hajj Malik Shabar said, the one that they call Malcolm X, say what you mean and mean what you say, and you will see a different day. So that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth. That was a great perspective. Please continue to listen, and you have a great Sunday. All right. Let's see. We have Sylvia on the line. Good morning, Sylvia. How are you?
I just called to say I'm enjoying y'all. Thanks for taking us to school, and may God continue to bless you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Love you too, girl. Please continue to listen to the show. Let's see. We have PG. Hey, PG.
Well, good morning again. This is a very interesting topic, and I was hoping to get you and Dr. G to talk about we hear this expression that people are full of sugar, honey, iced tea, but we know from a medical standpoint that people really are full of that. How important is it to have regular bowel movements, number one, and how conscious of our bowel movements should we be? Like, color of your feces can tell you what's wrong with your body. The consistency of it or lack thereof can tell you that there's something wrong. But from what I've read, a proper bowel movement is the piece that comes out long looking like your four colons that you have that make up your gut. Am I right about that? And can you add some more? Because I try very hard to eat foods so that I won't be full of sugar honey iced tea from a medical standpoint and a social etiquette standpoint as well. Thank you, ladies.
All right. Thank you, PG. We'll answer your call. Dr. Grace, you want to chime in first? Or?
Oh, yeah. Gut health is very important. We should be going to the bathroom after every meal, but we don't. We were trained in medical school that everybody's pattern is different.
Right.
But that's not true. If you're only going, emptying or having a bowel movement once a week, something is wrong. This is the example that I give people. Okay, you eat your food and your body takes what it needs and it sits in the colon. It's like garbage. Our temperature is 96.3 degrees. Okay, that's a hot summer day, right? And so what happens to garbage when you sit on the curb at 96.3 degrees? It starts rotting and smelling. It's all of that. Same thing with the stool that's in your gut at 96.3 degrees. So you have that stool sitting there. You have toxins leaching in the body. People are tired. People are sluggish and all of that. I really do believe that people need to have regular bowel movements. What she described, I don't have to go over it again. It was quite adequate what she said. But we do need to detox. If I have some products that can help you with that. You do need to slough the walls of the colon. You need some dextrin fiber. The products that we have as a detox tea has chamomile in it that helps relax. It also has dextrin fiber, which scrubs the walls of the colon to get out. It has senna, which helps that muscle contraction because your colon is surrounded with muscle to get that stool moving up and out. And it is a very, very important that you have a healthy gut to lose weight, because if you're not having bowel movements, you're toxic and your stomach gets big and you develop that visceral fat. But I also want to get back to Jerry, what he said about the hormonal and genetic, but it's also environmental. At the age of 12 months, we do cholesterol levels on children. If the cholesterol level is high in a child at 12 months, that lets me know that the parents are feeding them fatty foods. When I used to work in the inner city, I'm having children with cholesterols over 200, and then I talk to the parents, and they doing Coney Island. And so imagine having a cholesterol of over 200 at 1 year old.
Right.
So what is that child going to look like in his teens and his early 20s? So it's an environmental component. There's childhood obesity that we didn't get a chance to talk about on this show, but then there's also a genetic component that we talked about. There's a hormonal component because, dealing with weight gain during pregnancy and doing perimenopausal and postmenopausal. There is hormonal things that happen in a woman's body where she has that natural weight gain because of the hormones, but you can manage that. And our practice helps address those deficiencies that are there and getting those hormones regulated and metabolism set so you can burn the fat like you should. But again, it starts at the gut. I really do believe that gut is the primary place to start when people are releasing weight. I like to use the word release weight because when you lose weight, you tend to find it again because people that go on those diets, as one caller had said, they get off the diet and gain that weight back and then some. It has to be a mindset shift, a lifestyle change, and better choices day to day. You have to make good choices every day. And then one caller was talking about the biblical perspective of it. That is true. I mean, we are supposed to eat the way that God created us and designed to eat because, again, we talked about how people live hundreds of years old. They walked everywhere. Right. Nothing was processed. It was from the field to the table, from the meat to the vegetables and everything. Everything now that we have is from the field to the process on the truck to the market, and we don't know how long it's sitting there. Then we consume that.
That's why I always tell people, eat real foods. Do not eat processed foods. When I mean real foods, animals. If you want an animal, if you don't vegan, okay, fine. But just real foods, not processed foods.
Absolutely. So there is a way and a design that God created us to eat, and I really do believe the way things are happening now, people got to wake up, and He's calling us back to the way He designed us, so we can have long life and longevity.
Yes, you are listening to 910 AM Superstation. This is Nurse Charms Live. We're going to take our last and final break. So we'll be right back.
If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, the insurance companies never want to pay. Hello?
Listen, David, I'm telling you, we won't pay.
No, I'm looking at the case right now, and you will pay.
No, we won't.
I'm absolutely positive
we won't.
that you will pay.
No.
Okay, that's it. When the insurance companies say they won't pay, I will make them pay you. Get the money you deserve at GetDavidGetPaid.com.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who've agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy. For months and months and months, I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials, and, you know, you don't know if something's going to help you or not, but I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days after taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code RADIO5.
So Gorgeous is the latest brand to hit the hair extension and wig market. Made from 100% human hair donors with textures to perfectly blend into your hair, giving you full, natural-looking styles with added volume and length. You can wash, color, curl, and straighten our gorgeous bundles and wigs. Shop our collection now at SoSoGorgeous.com and get ready to show off your gorgeous hair.
You are listening to Nurse Charms Live. We've been having a great discussion about obesity. Oh my goodness. And this time has just flown by. So if you want to call in and get anything else off your chest about this discussion, because callers, y'all have been off the chain with some excellent questions this morning. The number here live in studio is 313-778-7600. Again, that number is 313-778-7600. But before we leave the show, I do want to talk about one more thing with Dr. Grace. I want to ask you, should employers play a role in helping workers maintain a healthier lifestyle?
Yes. At my practice, I allow my patients to have access to the holistic stuff that we do, but you'll be surprised how many of them don't take advantage of it. You know, employers can offer something, but that don't mean that they will utilize it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, again, it has to start with the individual. I mean, you'll be surprised how many people have health care insurance through their employer and still don't make appointments and keep their appointments and go to the doctor to do their maintenance. So, and then there are some major corporations that have executive physicals, like the big three. I've, met some people who use that instead of going to their doctor, but they are advised not to do that. But they get such a thorough, physical from that, because you want healthy employers, people to work for you, because it decreases the risk of them being sick, call in, and being more productive if they're more healthier. But I think if you are an entrepreneur out there, or if you have your own practice or your own business, I think it should be, access to healthcare should be available to those who work for you and work with you. So yes, I do believe so.
And those were some good points you mentioned, but also I want to mention also the physician. Let me back up. Earlier you mentioned something about we want to keep people healthy, but the reality is that people, correct me if I'm wrong, you said something like, we make money, this is what you said, we make money off of people being sick.
Yeah, that's how it's set up. I mean, you'll be surprised how some insurances, not all, don't pay for preventative care. Preventative means things to keep people from getting sick. A person has to come out of the pocket like that. But I remember years ago, they've changed it. Years ago when I first started, graduated from medical school, did you know that they didn't cover people insulin that were diabetic? But they would pay full coverage for cutting off their leg.
Wow. Actually, what I wanted to point out is that I was under the impression, I thought that things had changed and that with reimbursement that physicians weren't going to get reimbursed. Like, for instance, if your patient's blood pressure isn't managed, you've been treating this patient for like a few months or a few years and everything's still to change. I thought that what insurance companies are doing now, that they weren't reimbursing physicians anymore.
It's depending on the insurance company. There's incentives. If you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, they'll give you an incentive check. I mean, it's varying across the board. But then at the same time, I feel that's unfair because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and then you have somebody that's doing whatever they want to do at home, like I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat and then take my pill.
Well, they're putting the accountability on the physician.
Listen, that's not right. If
that's
I'm
exactly
doing all this,
they're doing,
that is not right. I can't twist somebody's arm and say that you need to stop doing everything white. Leave the bread alone. Leave the sugar alone. You leave the salt alone. Leave the pasta alone. Leave those Roman noodles alone with them little packets. That's just nothing but salt.
Right.
I can't, dictate that.
I guess they figure we got to start somewhere because I don't know. I don't know why that change came about, but I do know that they do have.
But then if that be the case, then that puts a strain on the doctor-patient relationship. So then I will not take you as a patient.
That could
because now you hit my pockets. This is how I make my living.
And I just want to say that I'm not saying that I side with the insurance companies.
I know, but I'm just using a scenario.
Right, I'm just throwing it out there that I remember that these insurance companies said that they're no longer going to
call HEDIS. I think that's what it's called, HEDIS, HEDIS. And that's what they're doing. They're monitoring how well we're managing our patients. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have that problem. I have a pretty good I have pretty good patients that I have had some inner city people who decided to go vegan because they say they feel better. Our motto is if you eat good, you feel good. You eat bad, you feel bad. There's no in between. Whatever you eat is either going to add life or take life away. There is no in between. Period. I don't believe in total deprivation. Don't get me wrong. I like my oatmeal raisin cookie now and again, but I'm not taking a whole pack of cookies and eating them every day. You know what I'm saying?
So get into your products because we're going to be running out of time in just a few minutes. So get into some of the healthcare products that you encourage those who are looking to live a healthier lifestyle.
We do have a detox tea. It's a Tava Lifestyle. It's an African-American company that's out of Houston, Texas. We have a detox tea. We have a probiotic that has 7 probiotics and a multivitamin in one. It's called Flare. It helps metabolize with your metabolism. It has also in it kelp that helps with the thyroid. We can't make any medical claims, but I could tell you what it does. It helps reset the metabolism, gives you energy. We have a collagen product, which is made from marine, which has a Lumicol attached to it. And you're like, Dr. Grace, what is Lumicol? That means it's from one catch. It's from one fish. There's a lot of collagens out there that's made from a whole bunch of different fish. Excuse me. So if there's ever a recall, you don't know what fish it is. So we pride ourselves on that as well. We also have a liquid vitamin, which is our number one seller, because a lot of people tired of taking a whole bunch of pills. You get your multivitamins, you get your 95% of daily recommended vitamin D, you get your glucosamine and tart cherry juice. We use tart cherry juice for people that have gout. It's all in this liquid vitamin. Just take a cap a day, and you're good for the day. We also have a coffee, a CBD coffee, which I just had here today. It has chaga mushroom in it. Mushrooms are trending. It's good for inflammation. The CBD blocks 5 pain pathways. It's a clumbamine cough in there. It has 120 milligrams of potassium. You're like, Dr. Grace, why is that important? Because potassium is a muscle relaxant. It's good for the heart. It's good for the muscles. We also have, last but not least, we have a CBD lemonade, which is a beverage enhancer, which helps with mood, clarity of thought, and all of that. And again, CBD blocks 5 pain pathways, and is certified THC free. And you're like, why is that important? THC is the negative side of the medical marijuana plant, which causes the addictive behavior, causes the polyphagia after people come down off their high, causes the euphoria. Burns brain cells, lung cells, decrease sperm count in men, and increase testosterone levels in women. None of that is in our products. So I'm going to post a link here. We doing a Falling Out Love Myself Again campaign that takes you through a 15-day journey of journaling about loving yourself. And I'm going to post it on the site, the 910 site. Just go ahead and click on that link. The registration is free. And you get all these products in a nice little box for, I think it's like $120, and it's like a 10-day supply. And it's all part of this health and wellness journey of loving yourself, because when you love yourself, you're compliant and you can help yourself.
And Dr. Grace, please give your information, because some callers were asking, how can they reach you?
Okay, phone number is 248-356-1111. That number is our office, but it has texting capabilities. That's 248-356-1111.
And Dr. Grace, as always, pleasure to have you. I hope that you come back again. I always love when you join the show. And you all can reach me at Nurse Charms on all social media platforms. YouTube, follow my YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook, Nurse Charms. That's our time. We are out. Please continue to listen to 910 AM Superstation. Bob Vacano is up next. Have a great, wonderful Sunday, everyone. Take care. We'll see you next Sunday.
Make sure your plumbing problems are taken care of the right way. For over 20 years, Right Way Plumbing's knowledgeable staff has served Metro Detroit. Schedule your appointment and receive a free in-home visual